Okay, I'm going to generally try to clarify things from a higher level standpoint than the average information you tend to get from the medical system as to what we're dealing with when it comes to disease in general and specifically your COVID 19 problem. Okay, so where do I get this information? This information comes from metaphysics. Okay, so it's not physics. It's more like a traditional perennial philosophy, ancient wisdoms, plus all of the modern information that has helped us interpret what exactly the ancients were talking about. So, where do we want to begin? Let's see. Start off with a meditation. Okay, so the reason that I start off with meditation is because it changes the consciousness that I'm in. So instead of being, it's problem, reaction, solution that you get from the average news report. And I'm changing the frequency because problem, solution is you accepting the premises, that's incorrect, accepting the premise of somebody who is giving you a communication. So if we wait and we go into silence, and if there's thoughts in your head, you're in a observation mode. You're observing the thoughts in your head. And for me, I was feeling feelings in my trunk of my body. They're what I call energies moving around here. They weren't terribly good energies, so I just observe them. And I wait for a good long time, and then intuition tells me when to start talking again. So I am not automatically accepting the premise of somebody's communication to me. If you sit in front of the television, you can't help but be in that mode because that's the way they deliver these things. It's basically a communication, another communication, another communication, another communication, another communication. In other words, their cadence is what you have to accept because you can't change the way the newscaster has been edited together from story to story, from talking head to talking head. And it is designed by them to get you accepting everything they say as if you are in a hypnotic trance. And you are in a hypnotic trance when you are watching mainstream news deliver the goods to you. I say goods facetiously. In other words, they're not good at all. It is spreading fear, panic, and it is planting seeds in your subconscious mind, which are not good seeds. Bad seed. Okay, one moment.
Yeah, I'll do anything that you want me to. Yeah, I'll do almost anything that you want me to. Yeah, but I can't go for that. No, no, no can do. I can't go for that. No, no, no.
Okay, that's Hall & Oates, and I can't go for that. And that's basically the theme that I'm trying to bring you. So we're going back to ancient wisdoms. And the first ancient wisdom that comes to my head is go within. And what does it mean to go within? It means meditate. Meditate. If you'll get some information before you let your thoughts go crazy about the information that you've got coming in, go to silence. As long as your intuition goes, and you go within. And this helps you to discern this information. In other words, is it truth or false? Or is it true perhaps at a low level of consciousness? In other words, mass consciousness. And then you might say, okay, well, maybe for the masses that are not meditating, who are not into higher consciousness, this might be a good truth for them. But for me, someone who is following my inner wisdom, I might get a different answer than them. And look at the whole situation. They're never going to understand that I go within to my own intuition to get my answers. They're never going to understand that. It took me a long time of spiritual work to get to the point where I go within and trust myself. So I'm initiated. I'm a long-term initiated into this ancient wisdom. And the average Joe on the street, they're not initiated, and I can't give them a 2-minute summary of how I go within and make it work for them. And anyway, they're not going to go with what I'm telling them. They're going to go with what an authority figure in their life tells them. That's just the way it is in the Matrix. So don't waste too much time trying to explain to other people the way you get things. Okay, so what else do we want to talk about? Okay, let's go back to this idea of viruses. Okay, so if you've followed my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I do work from the paradigm of we are simply in consciousness. And that physical things that we think are made of matter, that is what the man in the street thinks. But if you are like me and you study, you really come to see that the idea that we are made up of, dead atoms put together into material is incorrect. And as I always say, this is Newtonian physics from the 1700s. We are, someone says, beyond quantum physics. No, I don't think we're beyond quantum physics. It's just that quantum physics is very hard to quantify, other than it's a pointer to the fact that everything is consciousness. Our reality is consciousness, which means it is not necessary to act with physical means to create change in your environment. Simply being the observer of what's going on actually changes your environment. And that's why we do a lot of meditation. Now, maybe after you've meditated for some time, that you let go of your body, and I do this, I did this today. For a great long time, I just meditated, and I didn't get up out of bed until 2 in the afternoon. Even after someone had said, "Are you getting up today?" It didn't prompt me to get up. Whereas when I was young and before I studied these ancient wisdoms, I probably would have felt like, oh, someone's judging me for being in bed this late, and I better get myself up and force my body to get out of bed. I don't do that anymore. And so it is the fear of judgment of others that often makes us do things. How are we going to look in someone else's eyes? That's the way we're taught. But if you follow me, you're going to realize that performing for others is not a good reason to use your personal will to move your body. And I have to use conventional English, but the body itself is a different being than you with your will. So when you will your body to do something, you are treating it like a slave. But anyway, back to my tale. If after long meditation, you don't force the body to do something, but then the body goes and perhaps follows something that, the medical system tells you, like maybe it goes and washes its hands, or maybe it has a shower, or maybe it makes itself a nice cup of tea and keeps itself hydrated. So it doesn't mean that conventional information is always discarded. It's just discerned. And who's discerning it? It's not me. Because I'm not using my will to make my body make a cup of tea. It's possible that some people might say, well, maybe you'll talk to your body and say, body, do you want to have a cup of tea? My spirit guides often do this. But what I am at the heart of things is the awareness, simply the silent observer. And once you've let go of your personal will, you are that awareness. And so even when I'm talking, the awareness that usually is called at the seat of the soul up here in your pineal gland, it's not talking to you. My voice and my personality are not the awareness that you are inside of your body. Where the words come from, well, let's just say it's a different aspect of consciousness. So, to sum it all up, don't watch mainstream news, meditate a lot, let go of your personal will, and be the silent observer.